So Bitcoin was rejected at that level where I says the moon was going to come in. So that's really interesting. But welcome everybody to Crypto Angles podcast number 60. Now forgive me for like the late video, but the audio should be much better. So do let me know. I do have another mic. And it took me a while to find it, and then my laptop needed charging, so it's been a long one. But welcome everybody. Over here we combine astrology of the sky, so it's not mainstream tropical astrology, it's literally what's happening above your head, with the crypto market as well. So if you are new over here, what we'd usually do is check out some Gematria connections if there's anything, but there's none in this video. We will look at the astrological story of this cycle in June. So we're going from the 9th to the 15th, and then we'll check out the technical analysis for Bitcoin, XRP, and the DXY. So welcome. My name is Kelita, Sahliah, by the way. I'm a mother, a real angel, and obviously I dabble in crypto. That's why we're here. So I'm going to have to do this kind of quick as well because my laptop battery is not charged fully, and I will need to keep looking down at the mic to make sure that battery doesn't go, but I do have a separate one to just switch it if that does happen. So let's get into the story anyway. As we could see, Bitcoin had already found its resistance level from the new moon, like what I was saying. That's what I was anticipating, to get that resistance in. So it's done that. So right now we are going to be on our way to finding our support level. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That is the energy of what the market is going to do now. We do have Lilith retrograding back into Libra. So the only thing I'm going to say about this is that the collective is working on getting balance. Okay, so this balancing when it comes to the market anyway, like I says, I'm anticipating it finding its support and then moving on up pretty much after that, going into the summer months. So that balance is coming in. Lilith represents a lot of what we're passionate about, but we're suppressed in that area. But our passions, we're working on getting that balance coming in. So this is in your whole life as well, but of course, because we're focused on the markets, focused on investing in the markets and things of that nature, balance is coming to it. All right, so just keep that in mind. We do have as well Mars entering Aries, so this is just a lot of fire energy when it comes to the markets. Like obviously the market is water based. Fire and water can cause a lot of passion, and Mars being fire going into Aries being fire as well. I am just seeing a lot more action, especially because both of these are very passionate, and Aries is very fresh, it's very new, very excited, very quick to act and things of that nature. So I am kind of seeing with this energy, and we're still in a lot of Taurus energy still as well. I'm seeing more volatility in the market with this Mars in Aries. Okay, like picking up the speed. It's seeming fresh and new again and exciting because it's possibly moving a bit more before it transits someplace in July, but it goes into Taurus, so it's just amplifying that Taurus energy with Mars. Do you like my July photo? Oh, by the way, people, do grab this calendar. But anyway, we then get our first quarter moon on the 14th on Friday. So that is the transition energy. We are still in this new moon energy as it does last for 5 days. It's pretty much still this cycle. We're still in this resistance level energy, finding our micro resistance. And then on Friday, going into the next cycle, we're beginning to find our support. Okay, so I'm seeing this cycle potentially, it could be a little bit slow. It could be slow, it could just hover and range at where it's at while it's getting ready to find its true support. Okay, and the fact that this is Sagittarius is quite interesting. It's quite interesting, but it will all depend obviously on how the market moves throughout this cycle, with how this Sagittarius energy and the full moon, how it will respond. Okay, because as you can see, Sag is ready to take it into a new direction, and we're getting this Libra balancing energies and this fresh Mars, exciting, and Aries energy just ready to go. So, and here's the summer solstice and going to winter again. But that's pretty much what I'm seeing for this cycle. I am seeing things, though it may be slow, the general energies, when they pick up momentum, will bring more volatility into the market, possibly like the end of June. We'll see, especially with how it wants to find its new support. Could we create that lower low in the market, or a higher low? Higher low would be good. Of course, a lower low would not be good, but would we create that higher low, and could this propel us, pulling us into our next new moon, which is the Gemini new moon in July? But let's take a look at the charts anyway. And you can grab this calendar. It's available on Etsy, and like I said, you can buy one get one free. If you grab this digital copy over here, you can get the physical one for free. You can still put in the 10% discount if you'd like. Reason being only because if you do want the physical copy, there were 2 minor mistakes with the solar eclipses, but the digital copy is fully up to date. But I've still got these and they're still amazing. So you can get it for free as long as you pay the postage and packaging. You can get the physical one for free. But anyway, let's take a look at the charts. The brightness is all the way up. Yep. Check the mic is still on. Oh, is one of them a mics like that's attached to me? So hopefully this just all sounds okay. I did do a sound test, so it should be fine. But anyway, I find it interesting. Obviously, Bitcoin didn't reach this box, so we'll delete that. But it did reach this new moon at that point, and this one here. So I do find that interesting. We technically didn't even get as high as we did on the 20th and 21st of May. We went slightly lower, reaching at 71k instead of, yeah, still in the 71k range, but we didn't get as high as it. So that again is showing a little bit of sign of weakness. Yeah, it's showing a sign of weakness. I was anticipating, could we be pulled up slightly higher to get a higher resistance level, but we actually haven't, not since our oh, what is this decline? Not since our March highs, basically. We've just been lower since that point. So fascinating. Just looking at this, because we were rejected from this level, it does seem at least we'll come back to this level at some point. So I'm going to extend this. Let's just extend. Why was this line even here? It's clearly some type of support though. It clearly is, because we came up, once we fell down, we hit it there a little bit, fell down below it, it was our resistance, and then we broke above it, and now it's our support. So this is like our first zone of anything, this 65 to 66k Bitcoin. And it's only if we cannot hold that, then I'll entertain lower, because just looking at the grander scale of it, just on Bitcoin, on the monthly, no, the W time frame, let's just take a wider look. RSI down, don't need you now. So obviously, if you have been following Bitcoin, you know when it's ready to move, it will really move. So though I have here as like breakout zone, where it was trading a lot, it may not, especially if it can hold this zone, it may not even entertain anywhere near down here. To be honest, excuse me, confirmation burp, it probably won't. Though even if it does, the only thing I'd say is even if it does entertain that, then it's just creating a stronger support for further continuation. So keep that in mind. If it does go on a mad one and they want to really just do one last washout in the market, then it's just not to really be fearful of it. It's just a perfect entry, but it may not. Reason being, because look, it's just kind of gone up, it's done its cluster, and it could well just get ready to just go up like that, like not really entertain these things, especially if it wants to hover around this zone to create that solidity, to create that solidity, especially if here is as low as we go when we dip into our full moon. And bear in mind, when it is the full moon, so when it's the new moons, like what's happened, it finds its resistance, and then you can potentially short the market, or you wait until it finds its support. Once it's found its support, you can either long the market, or you invest. You find like an entry opportunity. Basically, it's one or the other. So yeah, it depends. That Sagittarius full moon support could literally pop in here on this zone. We'll see how this cycle comes in to kind of anticipate more of where the support would be. But it could be here, and then it could begin to make its way. So do keep that in mind. We may not be entertaining these levels. So, but yeah, I do just want to show that if we do happen to entertain these levels, it's just perfect buying opportunities. But let's just take a look at this. Sure. I'll just show you the moons. I'm not gassing. I did put that in before the moons came in, and look, right on the neck. It's like, yep, this is our resistance level, clearly. So will we just keep our support here, or will we break lower? That's literally the only question right now. But let's take a look at the MACD. What is it talking about? So obviously we are dipping into the red again, and we have crossed over. So it is telling me there is a bit more room to the downside when it comes to the MACD on the daily. Anyway, let's take a look at the RSI. Oh, you're shilly. I'm trying to not to talk so long because what's my battery at? Ugh, is the mic on still? Yes, it is. I don't want my battery to go, but I need to keep the brightness up high. RSI on the daily as well. We're above the 50, which I guess is good. The Batman head, I really like that. But it seems as if even if we go up a little bit more, because it is pointing up, we could get rejected off of the yellow moving average, and that could push us down. How low we'll go will be interesting. Will we stay just at the 50, and then could that bring us down to this zone when it's just at the 50? But if we do drop lower than the 50 on the RSI on the daily, then that may be a reason for price to drop below the 65k mark and entertain like the 60 region again. So do keep that in mind. It will be interesting. Like I says, we've been trading in this sideward channel. That's all we're pretty much doing right now. Yeah, that's all we're doing. There is that pretty much diagonal one as well. Let's just kind of do that because then you can see a bit better. So this diagonal pattern, we're going to get rid of these moon phases. Go. But there is that thing which I drew last time and then deleted it, but we did pretty much break out of this channel. So this is another option, and I feel even if it comes back down to this 60, which it probably could. When's the full moon? 22nd. The 22nd, so it's round about here. Yeah, it's round about here, literally where it touches this. So could we get not much volatility in the market for this cycle, or pretty much up until it's found its resistance? Could we still be trading in this complete trading range, because that's all it's doing? And could we trade on the outside of this red line? I'm forgetting the terms, but could we, if we break past this, it's no longer our support. Could we trade along this and find here as our true support? Is that a possibility? And then could we take off from this level? Yeah, is that possible? Maybe. I just want to take a look at the RSI for the W time frame. So interesting, fascinating. So obviously we're still in buying territory. There is a lot of room to the downside. However, the way this is kind of looking, especially because it's pointing up, it's like on the larger scale of stuff, there's definitely a lot of room to the upside. So like RSI wise, it may come up lower than here, than this last jump it did around in March. It could be lower, but price could actually be higher, especially if we go and continue up. So that's interesting. Or are we going to get clearly rejected off this level and take a deeper correction? I'm not quite sure, because this is a larger time frame, and obviously we are ready for movement in the market. We could just get a lot of more greens coming up, like I said, though they may not be as high as this on the RSI. This could be price just going up, you know, and then it's just so heavily overbought, it starts to collapse back down on the larger time frames. Or are we getting rejected? Like I said, this has the ability to expand further, or we could get rejected off it. But the MACD, just checking my mic's still on, kind of turned sideways. Yeah, there we go. The MACD, obviously, just like on the daily, it has crossed over though. So and we're in the red, so there's definitely a bit of room to the downside, and I guess that's the only reason, along with the RSI, why I wouldn't be shocked if they happen to do like black swan event and just a market washout, if it comes as extreme down to this level before continuing up. It's a possibility. It's just keeping them all in mind. But again, on the monthly though, on the monthly RSI, similarly, it's just looking like it wants to go up another leg further. So this is kind of like a mind fuck. Like, what is it gonna do? Obviously, on the monthly, we're still quite high in the green. The moving averages aren't even turning just yet. They are a little, but nowhere near each other. So yeah, it's an interesting time. It really is. It's like there's some room to the downside it can do, but longer term wise, there's definitely a lot of upward momentum it's getting ready to do. So I just want to put on some of these moving averages just to see what go on, and we'll jump onto XRP. So I like my luminary moving averages. Oh gosh, and I need to get back to my comments. Someone asked about that. Let me reply here. Is it in alignment with sidereal astrology, did you say? Well, basically, someone in Waters Above community created it on TradingView. I didn't know people could do that, but apparently you can. So it's just based off of the luminaries. I call them luminaries, but it's planetary alignments. That's what it's called. It's called PA something, planetary something something, moving averages. But yeah, that's just what it's based off. It's just, I guess, that I wouldn't say normal or most common one essentially, but ultimately the way they move in terms of speed wise, which that's what these are calculated off, it's like their rotation and things like that, it's going to be the same. So no matter what astrology you're kind of looking at, the speed wise, the rotation of it, they all move the same. The difference is with mainstream tropical astrology, they're just saying it's these stars, luminaries, planets are in like a constellation ahead of sidereal or ahead of what is actually happening in the sky. So I just thought I'd say that with these planetary or luminary moving averages, what I prefer to call them, it's just based off of their speed and rotation, not like what I do saying, yeah, it's in this star sign. It's not focused on that, it's just the speed. So yeah, I hope that answers your question anyway. Mic's still on. So yeah, obviously on the daily, there's still price is still super far from these luminary moving averages, but what I do like is that Uranus is the berry line and it is underneath. You can barely see it just a little bit, but it's there. And Saturn is the darker purple and it's on top. So that is a good sign for upward momentum. However, how have they been used in the past as support? It's still possible. Like I said, still entertaining this idea at least to the top of this parallel channel. If they make their way up and we do have a deeper correction, I feel that again would still be healthy if that's a possibility, because price could literally just find support on top of Saturn. And then as they continue on up, price bounces off it. So again, that would still be healthy if that is to happen. But let's put on some of the other moving averages, SMAs. Let's just take a look. Okay, so again, clearly far from the 200. And even if we don't come back down and retest these as support, whilst this 200, this green line moves up, you can see it's coming up to this zone. So that's why I'm entertaining this zone a bit more, especially if we cannot hold that. But price could find support off of that 200, because right now it looks like it's battling with the 8 and it's underneath it. So that could be pushing it down a bit more. Like I says, we do have the 50. Is this the 50 or the 55? The white. Where price could find some support on this level, and we, that could hold us. Like I said, if we don't break past this level, this is when I'm looking at this zone. So yeah, we'll have to see if price falls underneath the 50. It's definitely going to find support off of the 200, or it could keep its support on the 50, trade around there and get ready to move off. Oh, mini confirmation burp. Let's just put on where's the other one? EMA ribbons? Yeah. Yeah, okay. And right now though, it is looking all right, I guess, because price is like, it's being supported by all of the EMA ribbons right now. However, because they are so close together, if price falls below it, that would just be again sign of weakness and it will just push below. But again, that 200 moving average is running the same path as the other one. Let's just get rid of this. Let's get rid of this, but it is running the same path as the other one. So it can find support on the 200 again, especially if it breaks below these three. Is it the 8, 11, and something else? I can't remember. 21, 13, 21. 34 and 200. That's what they are. So if it does break below them, again, it can just find support off of there. But that's what I'm kind of seeing for Bitcoin. There is some downward momentum coming in, and we're either going to find our support on this level or this one, 60, the 60K region, or the 66K region, basically. But downward momentum is kind of looking a bit likely. We will check the DXY to see if that's going in the opposite direction, but we are getting ready, or soon getting ready, to find our support, and this has been our clear resistance level. So yeah, few different options, but they could be healthy. Could we break back down into this parallel channel and float along here? We'll have to see, but I am seeing some downward momentum. But let's take a look at XRP. Let's take a look at XRP in the hizzy. So let's just check on the monthly as well. Look, again, I did say this in my last video, but the audio was awful. as I'm making sure the mic's still on. What's my battery level? Okay, let's go. I did talk about this, like I says, on the largest scale of things, XRP is just coiling up for something magnificent, basically. And I just feel when we look back at this chart, we'll just be like, wow. Like this apex is like October, November times. Will we just range up and down between then? Because you know XRP can move slow. It can be like later, especially if Bitcoin and everything is getting ready to move. XRP may linger. We don't know. But I feel on the grand scale of things, eventually we're going to see a breakout of this and a new massive line up. And it will be just like, wow, look how clear the pattern was. Just so clear. So clear. It's getting smaller. It's coiling up and then pew, it's ready to go again. So just wanted to look at that, but let's take a look at the MACD. Oh, so the MACD on this one, it has tipped in the red. The last time we looked at this, the red wasn't there, but it has tipped into the red. So, is that good for the monthly? I don't know. Again, with the RSI, because it's like obviously the larger scale, it may not move down so much, but at least we'll see, hopefully it maintains a higher low. But yeah, it's pointing to the downside. It has gone down a bit, so it may just linger there and then turn and go the other way. But still, that's a larger time frame. Let's just take a look at the W. So something I just wanted to bring up. Oh, didn't mean to move you. Something I want to bring up, I've got rid of a lot of my lines, if you've noticed. Let me just move these because we don't need it right now. So it's on this major white line, which has been quite prominent for a while. So it is kind of back trading on that, but it's very close to it. And our next white line, I will put in just another white line, horizontal line, because this is the area we kind of don't want to get to. There. Okay, so yeah, beyond this white line, this is pretty much our next zone. As you can see, it was our resistance, it was our support. Once we broke through it, a little bit of resistance was our support, and then it was our resistance again, broke through, and now it's been our support pretty much ever since. And we're on this higher white line now where it's clearly its support. However, this other white line, we had wicks going down, touching it not once but twice, down to this zone. So 41 is an interesting marker to me. I don't believe, like someone did make a comment and they says they don't feel it will go past 40 cents. I don't feel that. If Bitcoin goes lower, especially if there's one last scare, it wouldn't surprise me if we go back down to this white line, even if it's a wick, and then we come back up into this parallel channel, which we've been trading in since the inception of XRP. So it's quite an important one. And like I says, here is the apex. Here is the apex. So we're kind of just trading on it right now, like this bigger triangle. Fascinating. But yeah, let's just take a look at the RSI and stuff. Oh, it keeps doing this. I've got a video to edit after this as well. I don't know why. So similar to the month, obviously is pointing down. But how low will it go is the question, or is it literally just going to hover at that level because it's a larger time frame? And then with the MACD, oh, I want to go on a boat ride, you know. I want to take the children to a boat ride this cycle. What are you doing? Why don't you just open? There we go. So obviously on the W time frame, we're in the red. We are in the red, but we are kind of turning a little bit. So will there be, and this red is much smaller than this one, and both are smaller than this one. So will there be like possible room to the downside, but not that much. Is that a possibility? Is it a possibility? So, as you can see with the luminary moving averages anyway, price is beneath it. Price is beneath it, and it has entered back into this green triangle that it's been kind of trading in and out of. As you can see, it was its support, broke below it. It became pretty much its resistance. Broke back out on top of it, but now it's inside of it again, underneath all of the luminary moving averages, which isn't a sign of strength. It's really not. So it's going to be interesting to see. Bitcoin has downward movements to come, so it could pull it down lower. The RSI on the daily is clearly trying to recover a little bit, but could we get rejected and go down lower? Because on the dailies, it's definitely more likely to tap the oversold, overbought region. And then, of course, the MACD is turning red and it's sloping down. This is so like not showing a sign of strength, because it didn't even, in the green zone, the moving averages didn't even come to the top, and it's already entered the red and we're already going back down again. Oh, I don't know. Basically, I'm saying I wouldn't be so surprised if they attempt one last washout scare type of vibe. I just wouldn't be surprised, basically. And if that does happen, I don't see XRP getting lower than 40 cents. Like, this will be the next zone. If anything, perfect buying opportunity, of course. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to get rid of the planetary alignments, luminary alignments. Let's put on our SMAs. Are you going to do it? There we go. So again, sadly, it's underneath all of them. The price is underneath all of them, so it's just it's showing a bit of weakness here. Again, it's nothing to really worry about. We are going to find our new micro support level. So we were rejected again. I drew this little moon. Here, and we were rejected pretty much at that level. Let's pop on the moon phases so you can see. Yep, that was our rejection, and it's going to get ready to find its support. So yeah, just keep that in mind. It is XRP is showing weakness right now, to be honest. Let's put on these. Again, it's literally underneath all of these. So XRP has downward moves to go to, and like I said, it seems to wick to places, and it likes to really retest that. So again, I did have this wick in mind. Could we slowly just create candles along this zone, getting closer to this wick and that one, because there is downward momentum. There's weakness here, like really bad weakness. I'm not gonna lie. Like, why are you so weak, dude? Even on the Bollinger Bands, oh my days. Let's just get rid of all of this stuff. But even on the Bollinger Bands, we're underneath it. This is really showing a sign of weakness. Like, it really is. I'm not gonna lie. Or it's definitely solidifying. It's getting ready to find its support. So yeah, I feel if they do a deeper push with Bitcoin, XRP will come to this level. Or if anything, the volume may get lower in it, the volatility, and it's coiling up at the bottom of this parallel channel, creating its support. So it's going to do one or the other, but it definitely has downward momentum coming in. So a quick look on the 4-hour. Okay, so it did drop down, and you can see it's looking like it's really trying to get stable, to be honest, which is good and interesting. Mic is still on. but it looks like it's stabilizing out. We are heavily, oh, well, I would say heavily, but we have reached the oversold region. We're quite low on it. So, oh, this is telling me, I feel even if Bitcoin goes lower, because it's quite low on the 4 hour, it's like we may go lower, but we're probably going to just stay in this region. So definitely not lower than 41 if we, if there's some crazy black swan event or a washout. But I do feel XRP will hover in this region, especially if XRP hovers in the region of, was it the 66K? Then XRP will as well. This 48 cents to 49 region, basically. But yeah, we are switching on the MACD, well, beginning to slope up, and it is in the lighter red. So it's kind of showing this selling pressure is slowing down. So this is why I did say we may get not a slow cycle, but price is just figuring out what it's doing, okay, for this cycle. So just keep that in mind. Let's take a look at the DXY now. And I had SHIB on earlier. Is this SHIB? I did have SHIB on, and like when I just opened TradingView, it came up, and just looking at it, I was like, oh, okay, especially if Bitcoin does take a lower leg down, it just looks like even this needs to take that lower leg down, whether it's back to this level. Yeah, because it had this lovely breakout. So it just needs to solidify its support, and it's only technically reached a low at one point, wicked off it a little bit. So it's like price across the board is just ranging and looking for its local support. It seems like, what's this H bar? Yeah, again, it's getting ready to find its support. Will it break lower than that and get a true support off of this level where it last was? Yeah, fascinating. Floki. Oh, loads of stuff on Floki. This is interesting, showing a bit different to SHIB though, but again, it's found its resistance level, as you can see at the top, and it wants to find its support. But that's showing signs of strength in Floki. This is actually good. It reached past its highs where it went to. That's amazing. That's actually so good. Yeah. What's this one? XPR. Same thing. It wants to get that support in quite clearly. Anyway, let's just look at the DXY. And then we're finished. Mike is still on DXY. Just close the Bollinger Bands, although you can see on this Bollinger Band, it was on the bottom and it just bounced up. It's like, yes, it's shown a bit of strength, but let's get rid of the Bollinger Bands for now. So obviously on the last day, Friday, the dollar was moving with strength, which is good. It was weakness and then strength. So fascinating. It didn't get higher than that point though. Will we get rejected off this level, or will the next candle be a little bit of relief and then continuation up? That's a possibility, especially if, like, for example, both Bitcoin and XRP, they had a little bit of room for a bit of relief, especially because we are still in, oh, what am I doing? Why has it gone so far? Especially because we are still in this new moon, no moon energy where price is still hovering around its resistance. So there could be that little bit of relief in the market, that little bit of upward or sideward, just pretty much there. While, because this was quite a strong candle, there could be a bit of relief the opposite direction because it's gone up so strong. We may get just a little bit of downward momentum, which is that little bit of relief in the crypto market. And then as crypto is ready to make its way to support, this continues up. Potentially, that's what I'm seeing with the RSI as well. We have gone straight up, but we have passed the 50. We could turn and find support on the 50, and that's that little relief I was talking about, and then continue on up momentarily while crypto finds its support, basically. But the MACD, let's take a look at the MACD. So we are in the red, obviously, because what it was doing, there was downward momentum with the DXY, but we're getting ready to cross over with these moving averages. We've entered like the lighter stage. So it seems like the selling pressure is over for the dollar, and it's getting ready to switch. It's getting ready to switch, I feel, which makes sense because crypto wants to find its support, which will be a little lower place than where it is now. But bear in mind that support could find that support and then it could easily just skyrocket and go up. That's a possibility. But yeah, just looking at this though, just looking at this, it's like it's getting ready to make lower lows. You see how we had this zone up here? We had this zone, lower highs, sorry, and we've had a lower high here. So on the grand scheme or scale of things, I'm kind of seeing, mic's still on, I'm kind of seeing, will we get as high as this level, or will we literally create a lower high? So even though us going up in the dollar is, you know, the crypto market's going the opposite way because it's finding its support, but ultimately, could we create that lower high essentially? And as we create that lower high, whether it's this zone or a bit higher but just not as high as this point, and then we make our way down, could that be our crypto market moving? I don't know, we'll see how it all goes, but essentially that is what I am seeing for the DXY. If there's a bit of movement up, it just probably won't be for too long. But that's what I'm seeing. What's my battery on? I need to get going. What are you lot seeing with the market anyway? How are you finding it? What are you seeing this cycle will bring? But I do hope that you want to say hope. I don't like the word hope. My intention is that you gain something from this video. Ideally, the audio is much better. Do let me know if you like this audio and if it's much better for you. I don't know what was wrong with the other mic. Like, oh, anyway, let me know your thoughts. This was Crypto Angles podcast number 60, and I'll see you in number 61. And with that being said, Angel out. Bye. Make sure you grab the calendar. Bye.